it's Tuesday. So this is Elaine Bartlett and the Purple Portal. And I think there is already somebody ready to step right into the portal. Hi there. Is there someone on the line?
Hi, it's Sydney. I'm getting my foot in the door.
Oh, my. Hello, Sydney. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Okay, thank you.
So I'm ready for my words of wisdom for the day and my guidance.
Okay, so very good question. So your words of wisdom of this day actually pertain to how I was going to start out the show. And it's with the nastiest four-letter word on the planet. And it is fear. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing now tidal waves of this stuff coming at people. So the thought of the day is be very alert to when your boat is being swamped. And the one who can generate the most fear, Sydney, is yourself.
Yeah.
And it's subtle, it's insidious, and I'm seeing that it swamps our boat almost before we know that the boat was capsized.
Wow.
So it's a case of really learning to listen to the frequencies. You know, we truly are like a little lightning rod. And we do know the chakras determine the actual frequency at each moment. And so as a creative channel, we bring spirit into matter according to the frequencies to which we are attuned. So
that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And today, actually, in the galactic system, is a day of attunement. Now, they have like a 13-day cycle of different ways to attune. And this one is really today to empty yourself. Ooh, I don't know about you, but I woke up not ready to be emptied. So there's a resistance to our own just becoming that empty nothingness because it's so frightening.
Yeah.
So I'm going to encourage you, empty out, drop it. I was talking to someone on Saturday. I was in their home doing a feng shui consultation, and I brought up the term drop it. And she's done a lot of meditation and, concerned if she's not actually meditating 3 times a day for an hour or 2 at a time and feeling guilty. And I said, just drop it. And she goes, drop it? I said, yeah, drop it. You are the meditation. You are the song. Be what you are. It gave her such relief. And she said, you mean I don't even have to use the phrase, let it go? I said, no, that's too many words. So really, it's a sense of drop it. And these fears, I'm going to be reminding people all year, the number 1 star is in the center of the Bagua, which means it's in the center of us, our stomach, our spleen, the intestine, all that jazz. And 1 has to do with water, and water has to do with fear.
Yeah.
So,
right before I got on, I got to check out with somebody what I had been afraid of or thought was happening, and they're like, no, that's your menopause, paranoia, whatever, no.
Sydney, did you think it was an actual physical problem?
I thought there was a riff with someone. I was experiencing some strange scheduling changes and all that, and I took it personally.
Okay.
And I checked in with the person who does scheduling or oversees scheduling, and they're like, weird coincidence, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
So what a relief.
You're not premenopausal. None of that jazz is true. What is more correct for you is there was an eclipse at this new moon, and it was a solar eclipse in Pisces, which is changing all of our those inner deepest fears, are, little paranoias, because it's all Neptunian like no clarity, and you must hate me, and
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, it was actually, and as I was getting ready for this today, all of this had to do with this magnificent but huge period of transition that actually started 6 weeks prior to the eclipse and will play out over many months. And why it's such a deep, deep transitional sensation, which the more sensitive the person, the more they're apt to feel it. There are those that are still truly in La La Land, and they don't want to come out of La La Land. So they're not going to experience much of this. And I'll tell you, unfortunately, it's the bulk of the population.
Oh.
So what's happening is this is a shifting away from 2 years of the Virgo-Pisces axis, all right, and into the Leo-Aquarius axis, so to speak. So in this time frame, it's been very challenging because this was sort of coming in. It will be slow to leave, but it is the end of the Piscean age. Finally, we've been talking about it for years. Think of the Broadway show, The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius kind of thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been dawning. I guess an age dawns much more slowly than the day itself.
Right.
So what's going to happen here, and I'm telling you, you will feel it. We're moving from slavery to freedom.
This explains. Yeah, so things are falling away.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
It's actually called an intense cosmic passage because we are dissolving on one hand and activating higher frequencies to actually reconnect our DNA and retrieve ancient knowledge that is still intact with ourselves, but had been deactivated. And it became deactivated because we became dangerous as a group down here on this plane.
Yeah.
And what made us dangerous? Conflict. That's why all last year I would harp, and I don't mean to harp. I don't want to beg, but I would plead. I don't even want to plead anymore. But the dangers of conflict are larger than people think. And they become so righteous, and I call it an Oprah Winfrey world now where everything has got to be spit out and talked about. It's in between an Oprah Winfrey world and a Dr. Phil world. No, we have to just let it go, because this ancient, really great spirit that we are is now ready to be activated.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're going to feel stuff very strongly. I'm going to tell you, keep releasing. Every time you get a thought, I don't care if it's good, bad, or indifferent, I will say to you, drop it. Sydney, yesterday, someone up in Jersey, they've been trying to get pregnant for a long time and have met with lots of disappointments. And now it would appear there's a pregnancy happening. It's happening. She's pregnant. And I took a deep breath and I said, I love you very much, but I'm not going to say congratulations or whoopee or anything. It simply is. And there's way more depth and energy, because those backslappers and hooray, and they're going to throw her out of kilter. And they're also going to hold a little thought of what if in their mind. So it's so dangerous. These 6 months that we're in now, you're going to feel things very strongly. You just keep releasing, but knowing that you're integrating a new wave within your body, a whole new wave of information, and you're releasing density. Truly, the phrase is lighten up. And we have all gotten too dense. We've just gotten so dense. You know, Sydney, you called in with such a broad question, and I'm not finished with the answer because if you don't mind, I'm using your question and your energy as a teaching tool for those who are listening. So this is not about Sydney any more than it's about every one of you who is in this broadcast range. And the kind of densities that we have to let go, well, it threw me for a loop last night. I went to a simple opening night baseball game for an 8-year-old. You think couldn't be any happier, couldn't be any better. Well, a few innings into it, I was very, very distracted by something that was not happening on the field. I was so distracted that I first felt sick to my stomach, then I felt angry, then I just wanted to go home. I didn't know what to do with myself, and I couldn't shake that wave until this morning when I did a lot of work. So here's what happened. These 8-year-olds, precious little darlings, they're on the field, they're playing, everybody's paying attention, happy, happy, happy. The mommies, the few mommies in the grandstands, are not really paying attention to much of anything. Maybe if their child is up, okay, but they're busy either on their cell phone or they're chattering one to another, which I quickly understood was only gossip. There was no healthy talk going on. Now, 2 of these mommies had little girls. They had 4-year-old, maybe 5-year-old little kids. Adorable little kids. Cute as pie little girls. And they began playing Ring Around the Rosie and running and twirling and having a happy time. However, watching them the entire time, now these were, I have to make a distinction here so you all understand why I was so upset. They happened to have been of the white race, these 2 little kids. Now, there's a darling little child of the black race watching them with eyes that were bigger than nighttime stars, with a little trepidation, and you could see she just wanted to hold hands and play Ring Around the Rosie. Now, granted, she may have been a year younger, but she could talk, she could walk, she was out of diapers, you know. These 2 little girls would have nothing to do with her. And I'm watching, and I'm holding my words back, because how I didn't jump off that stand and shake these little kids with an inch of their life, I'll never know. But I'm just watching. And then this dear little child tried to join in. These 2 kids moved away as if she had some plague on her. And she'd follow them and just stand and watch. And then they'd move away again. Okay, I get it. 4 and 5-year-olds, maybe they don't know so much. And their mothers who were so friggin' busy with their gossip of who has the latest divorce and what teacher did this and da-da-da. This went on for an hour with no one interceding. I was so heartbroken because it just showed me what I'm talking to you about, the density of spirit. And what harm would it have done for one of these